is the Educator of the Year Award. So, the Educator of the Year Award nationally recognizes an NACNS member for an outstanding professional achievement as a clinical nurse specialist, educator, and acknowledges his or her commitment to excellence and innovation in preparing CNSs in implementing the NACNS statement on CNS practice and education. This year, I have the pleasure of presenting the award to Dr. Jan Fulton. All right. She must be sharing some ideas with somebody out there. We might have to. Jan, she likes to engage in deep discussion, so we'll present her the award here soon. If anybody has her cell phone, you might want to text her. So anyways, okay. I've got like 8 cards to discuss Jan's great work, so I'll keep those up there for when she arrives. Okay, our next award is the Preceptor of the Year Award. Okay, good. Oh, there you are. Okay, so the CNS Preceptor of the Year Award nationally recognizes an NACNS member for outstanding professional achievement as clinical nurse specialist preceptor. The award acknowledges a CNS preceptor who has demonstrated commitment to teach, coach, and mentor CNS students to achieve CNS competencies in nurse, patient, and organizational sphere, as it reflects in the CNS statement on CNS practice and education. This year, I have the honor to present Wayne Quashie with the CNS Preceptor of the Year Award. I had the honor, after the selection was made, I had the honor of calling the award winners and read through some of the nomination information that was given. And boy, his students just love him, and it really validated the teaching, coaching, and mentoring of these students. And then I met Wayne the first day that we were here, and man, he is just larger than life. He just beams energy and passion for the role. And I really appreciate Wayne, and I hope that you all look on the back of your brochure and acknowledge Sloan Kettering Hospital has acknowledged Wayne on the back of that. And I talked with him downstairs last night, and they're just so proud of his work. And it shows by honoring him on the back of our brochure. So anyways, so Wayne is a clinical nurse specialist at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in New York, New York. Mr. Quashie is certified as an adult clinical nurse specialist and an advanced, flip 2 slides there. Wayne is credited with precepting more than a dozen CNS students and nurses at Memorial Sloan Kettering, where he has worked for 19 years in neuro-oncology. He mentors staff on hospital-wide projects, the creation of policies and procedures, evidence-based practice changes, and professional efforts. In his collaboration with colleagues, he helped the development and implementation of suicide screening initiative, electronic patient-controlled analgesia workflow, and most recently, the CNS orientation pathway and competencies. And that's going to be important because Memorial Sloan Kettering shared with me yesterday, they're looking at hiring more CNSs. So if you're looking, yeah, amen. Particularly, they're looking for a critical care CNS. So, which I happen to fit into that role, but I'm not ready to move. But if it's encouraging to see hospitals seeking out CNSs. So thank you for putting that orientation packet together, Wayne. It's going to be valuable. Wayne's colleagues and students nominated him for the award. One wrote, Wayne continues to transform the role of the preceptor by creating innovative ways to facilitate learning. Wayne provides his students with a learning platform that instills core values of hard work and dedication to practice. He coaches, mentors, and provides a CNS student with an environment that facilitates lifelong learning. The numerous experiences prompting students to think critically. Mr. Quashie is certified as an adult clinical nurse specialist and an advanced oncology clinical nurse specialist. He earned his MSN from Indiana State University in 2008, his MPH from Columbia University in 2003, and his BSN from Hunter College in 1996. Wayne expects to earn his PhD in nursing education from Teachers College in Columbia University in 2020. He is also a member of the American Association of Neuroscience Nurses, Oncology Nursing Society, Sigma Theta Tau International Honor Society, and he also is a former member of ONCC AOCNS curriculum for neuroscience nursing published in American Association of Neuroscience Nursing. And Wayne has agreed to be a presenter for an upcoming webinar, which we are offering for free in collaboration with the National Student Nurses Association. And his topic will be what you should expect in your clinical orientation. So thank you, Wayne, for agreeing to reach out to our student nurses in the undergraduate level, and I'm sure his enthusiasm and his energy will instill that thought of becoming a CNS, so when they think about going back for their advanced practice degree, they'll want to become a CNS. So anyways, thank you, and help me congratulate Wayne again. Okay, so I know it's not a surprise. We are recognizing Dr. Jan Fulton for the Educator of the Year Award.
CNS are very flexible.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Well, unfortunately, the university did not change their timeline for submission of the budget, so I had to call in my budget request for next year. My apologies. Thank you all for this award. Thank you, Vince. Thank you to the committee. I have been a CNS educator since, I think, around 1995. So I have touched many lives, but many lives have also touched me. And it's made me a much richer person for having been able to be in your life and to have you in my life. So I won't embarrass all the people that have been in my classes by asking you to stand, but you know you're here and you're from two different universities. So thank you for making it possible for me to receive this award.
So Dr. Fulton's a professor and associate dean for graduate programs at Indiana University in Indianapolis, Indiana. For those of you who are here on Wednesday at the opening ceremony, I also chose Jan as the President's Award. And these were two separate awards that were selected at different times and different criteria. So Jan happens to come up here a couple times, so a little synergy there. So Dr. Fulton has an impressive body of work that has served as a foundation for CNS education. Her commitment to advancing the work of the clinical nurse specialist is truly commendable. Personally, her teaching has impacted me directly, and I know I am one of a number of CNSs who can say the same. Dr. Fulton is the co-editor of the Foundations for Clinical Nurse Specialist Practice, the only textbook devoted to CNS practice, and the second edition received the prestigious American Journal of Nursing Book of the Year Award and received first place for that book. She also co-edited the Clinical Nurse Specialist Toolkit, the second edition, and Dr. Fulton's a founding member of NACNS, one of the association's past presidents, and our editor-in-chief for Clinical Nurse Specialist, the International Journal for Advanced Nursing Practice. In addition to her scholarly writings, Dr. Fulton designed an online preceptor course, Developing Your Skills as Clinical Nurse Specialist Preceptor, presented by Indiana University and sponsored by NACNS. So Dr. Fulton earned her PhD in nursing from Ohio State University in 1990, her MSN from the University of Cincinnati in 1980, and her BSN from the University of Mount St. Joseph's in 1975. Dr. Fulton is a member of the Sigma Theta Tau International Honor Society in Nursing and is a fellow at the National League of Nursing Academy of Nursing Educators and the American Academy of Nursing. She's also a member of the Oncology Nursing Society, the American Nurses Association, Multinational Association for Symptoms and Cancer Care, International Society for Oral Oncology, International Society for Nurses in Cancer Care, International Nurse Practitioner / Advanced Practice Nurse Network of the International Council for Nurses, and the Canadian Association of Advanced Practice Nurses. She's also currently a consultant for Eskenazi Health in Indianapolis, Indiana. So again, congratulations, Jan. Now, this morning, I have the great honor of introducing our next president, Ann Heisong. So this morning's general session, Ann's going to share some of her thoughts and words. And it's just been an honor for me to serve with Ann over the past few years. She definitely has a passion for the role and a deep understanding of not only the role, but a very deep understanding of how this organization runs and the direction we should go. So I'm leaving this organization in very capable hands with Ann. So I've got a couple more things to say briefly, but Ann's been a nurse. She's just waiting. You know, I shared with Sharon Horner last year as we were making the transition. I made the joke about her sunsetting, and it's not so funny this year. Because if you notice, my presentations are getting shorter and shorter, and as a CNS or as a critical care CNS, I'm recognizing that they're weaning me from the presidency. So, anyways, Ann's been a nurse for 16 years in critical care, for 12 years currently working with Gwinnett Medical Center in Duluth, Georgia. She oversees a combined intensive care unit and intermediate care unit with many organizational responsibilities. Throughout her career, she's served in many leadership roles, including her local affiliate, state APRN coalition, and APRN committees through the Georgia Board of Nursing. This is her 6th year serving on NACNS's board of directors. So, as I mentioned, it's been a joy working with Ann, and I look forward to serving under her in this next year. So Ann's topic today is a theme for next year's conference, the CNS as a catalyst for practice change. So join me in welcoming Ann Heisong. After Ann does her presentation, I also have the honor of giving her her president's pin. So I will go grab that while you're doing your presentation so that I have that ready to go. Because this is an honored tradition passed down from many presidents. And I see many of our past presidents wearing their president's pin with great honor, and because it is an honor to serve. So I will pass that on to you after you finish your presentation.
Thank you.
Ann Heisong.
Thank you, Vince. I have some big shoes to fill. So, it is an absolute honor for me to be standing here before you today as your incoming president. As I look around this room and I see so many volunteers and past presidents, I'm inspired, and I hope that I can serve you as well as I hope I can. And I need to find my clicker. There we go. Okay. My hope is that you learn a little bit more about me personally and where I see the future for our organization. I'm really excited about the possibilities and growth for our organization over the next year. But first, I'd like to share a little bit more about me and where I've come from. So one could say that nursing is in my blood. My mother was a critical care nurse for 40 years. Sorry, I'm gesturing because she's right here. My grandmother, pictured in the middle there, was a labor and delivery nurse and psychiatric nurse for 35 years. And my great-grandmother, pictured on the far right, was a community health nurse dating back to the 1920s. I didn't always know I wanted to be a nurse. In fact, middle school and high school, I wanted to be an astronaut. But when I declared my major, no one was surprised one bit. So. I attended Georgia Southern University and obtained my BSN and started my career in a coronary care unit, where I quickly found a love for med-surg ICU patients. You know, the ones on CRT on a vent with 9 drips. The fun ones, right? Or the scary ones, depending on how you look at it. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to do more. I loved nursing. I love nursing practice. And I had an eye for finding efficiencies and improving practices and processes. I shadowed many different kinds of advanced practice nurses and finally had the opportunity to shadow some CNSs. I heard several CNSs speak in and around Atlanta. Many of those are Barbara McLean, Jacqueline Bird, Mary Zellinger, and Marianne Baird. And I came to the conclusion that this is what I wanted to be when I grew up. So I attended Georgia State University and obtained my MSN as an adult health CNS. I began working at Gwinnett Medical Center Duluth in a combined ICU and IMCU 12 years ago, and that's where I still am today. I am surrounded by an awesome team of nurses, care techs, supportive nurse leaders, and other CNSs. I'm going to brag just a little bit. We are a 2-time AACN Beacon Award Unit winner, one of which being gold. And by the way, it's really easy to find me in these pictures because I'm the giant. During my last semester in graduate school, I came to learn that CNSs were not able to be licensed as advanced practice nurses in Georgia. It's very disheartening. So, discussing it with my mother, she said, if you want things to change, you have to get involved. Of course, little did either of us know that this is where it would lead. So I joined NACNS and became involved in my local affiliate. A few years later, I got a tap on the shoulder. I think everyone knows what that tap on the shoulder is, and said, we could use your help. Could you be secretary? It's just some minutes. It'll be easy. A few years later, another tap on the shoulder. You should be co-president. You get to share the work with one of your mentors. It'll be fun, it'll be easy. couple of years later, you're in so deep, you don't know how you got involved with the Board of Nursing. APRN committees, ended up serving as a CNS representative for the state coalition, and then you get another tap on the shoulder. You've served us so well throughout our state, why don't you run for the board of directors with NACNS? And then secretary. And then through the support and the mentorship of people like Ann Muller, Carol Manchester, Rachel Moody, and so many others, I'm standing here before you today. So what I learned from all my experience is that relationships are everything. There's always more work to be done, and you can't do it alone. We need to work together to accomplish our goals in amongst ourselves, with other organizations in nursing, industry partners. There's lots of things to work on, and we need to work together to accomplish these. Many of you may know that working with the National Student Nurses Association has become a passion of mine. I am very grateful for Wayne, who's going to be giving one of our webinars. I know a couple weeks ago I provided a webinar, and it's just inspiring to me to be able to share that knowledge of our profession with undergraduate nurses and letting them know that this is an option that some of them never knew existed. But I want to inspire that interest in our role so that we increase the supply of CNSs and the demand for CNS programs. At the same time, I also want to engage organizations like AONE, hospital organizations, those that have executives as part of their membership, the ones that will hire CNSs and approve the FTEs to hire CNSs. Just about every nursing organization has CNSs as members. Many of those are in leadership roles. And we need to partner with a lot of other organizations. When we work together, we can improve care for our communities and across the country and our communities. All of these activities and all of these partnerships just continue to increase the visibility of our role and articulate the importance of them. This is a picture of my wonderful, supportive husband and my kids, Audrey and Michael. Sorry, honey, this might be embarrassing. This past December, I was able to attend my daughter Audrey's holiday party. Oh no. While I was waiting for her class to return from the cafeteria, I found a short story of hers on the wall. And she was explaining and sharing how upset, sad, even mad that she was that I left to attend the NACNS Summit and Educators Forum last summer. I think all of us have had that knife in the heart moment, where we ask ourselves, why are we doing this? Or what am I doing? Why am I not at the pool with my kids? It's not easy, is it? We didn't choose the easy path. We chose to be CNSs, and in some respects, that's a little bit of a rockier path than some of the other advanced nursing roles. We're volunteers, we're stewards of our communities, and we knew that there would be sacrifices, right? So Audrey, honey. Oh. I know I get busy. I know I have lots of conference calls, and sometimes I travel. But I know why I do this. I do it for you. I do it for your children, for our grandchildren, and for our communities, for better health care for our future. I may not individually be able to make a difference, but together we're a force, and we can accomplish a great many of things. So together, how can we accomplish everything that needs to be done, which is a never-ending list, right? First things first, every single person needs to be involved in some way, shape, or form. Change is a part of who we are. We're CNSs. It's in our blood, right? We provide the spark that influences change in our patients, in our communities, in our organizations, in our nurses. We need to continue to be that spark and ignite changes across the nation and with our nurses and our patients. We need to continue to build relationships with those that will hire and maintain CNSs. And then we need to be able to articulate our role for those who may not. We need to be able to influence and provide information to nursing students and others in our profession and help increase the supply of CNSs for our future. Each and every one of us needs to continue grassroots efforts. Who's got their elevator speech? Every single person in this room should have their elevator speech. But you also need to be able to adapt that description of your role depending on who you're speaking to. So your APRN colleague, your healthcare executive, your legislature. I'll second Jan's comments yesterday in the opioid task force forum that we need to be offering our services and our expertise to legislatures for all of these issues, including opioids. And we need to say we're a clinical nurse specialist and show what kind of service and expertise we can offer. We also need to be able to adjust that elevator speech to our neighbor and other people in the community so they understand who's helping provide care. All of us need to get involved. Get involved in your local affiliate, and if there isn't one near you, start one. And if you don't know how, we'll help you. You need to get involved in committees. NACNS has a whole host of committees: education, practice, ledge reg, awards committee, and a call for volunteers. I'll go ahead and put a plug in. It's going to be coming out in a few months. Get involved in local legislative activities at your state level too. State coalitions. And if you're a little concerned about a long-term commitment, get involved in some micro-volunteer activities or something short-term. Consider volunteering for conference planning. In 2019, the conference planning committee is already selected, but for 2020, for those of you that live in Indianapolis, opportunities abound for you. You could also consider running for board for NACNS, and you never know where it might lead. You might have been attending this conference. Actually, I won't say might. I think everyone in this room has been sitting in some sessions thinking, wow, I did something similar in my organization. I could present this. Well, start taking your notes, because the abstract opening starts in 10 days, I believe, and it'll be open through May 21st. And if you don't present at NACNS's conference, just present. National, local conferences, and always present yourself as a clinical nurse specialist. So my challenge to you and to everyone in this room and all of our membership is to be the spark to make changes necessary for CNSs and for healthcare, for a better healthcare for all of us. and ignite that flame within you and get involved.